Hey guys, LucariaFan843 here. I am terribly sorry about the angle that the camera is in. It's on a tripod and unfortunately there's not much I can do about the angle and such. Since I want to make sure I can get as much screen, by screen I'm referring to the TV, I want to make sure I get as much of that as possible. And oops, I still need to move it forward more. There we go, that's the 20-yard line. Just about, but yeah. Alright, so when it comes to making plays on offense, FYI, difficulties on all pro. In fact, in Madden 11, I played Madden 11 on all Madden. Since one, I'm still trying to get used to this. It takes me some time, so you know. Alright, so let's go put Ray Rice on the slant route. Or actually, let's put him on the out left. Very, very important when it comes to reading defenses. Alright, so let's put Ray Rice. Yeah, let's keep Ray Rice where he is. We'll put him on the drag. No, not the drag. The fade. And actually, never mind. Here we go. Yeah, I changed the route. Very, very important on reading defenses. Sometimes changing the routes, as you all know, can be a huge help. You got to look where the defenders are, and usually I can tell if they're blitzing or not by the defender's motion. If they're moving inside, it's a blitz. And of course you can tell where they are by their motions when you send someone else in motion. So let's move Lee Evans. No one's moving, so it's either zone. Great throw, great completion. So I'll change the play from a misdirection to a power zero, one of my favorite running plays. No one move. As you can see the result. Alright, so we have one player, we have Vontae Leach going in motion. So, no one moves. But of course, that could possibly mean blitz. You got to be very aware of what could happen. So I changed Vontae Leach, I changed his originally flat route and I put him on block. So in the same time, I'm going to change Ed Dixon's route. Alright. Now, gotta be very careful. Sometimes it works, Sometimes it doesn't, but as you can see there, it worked. Alright, so let me change plays. Of course, the players want to switch around. Let me press A so Bolden can hurry up. I'll change Bolden's route to a slant to the right. And let's set the play up. It's man coverage. In a linebacker versus a fullback, usually the linebacker wins that battle depending on which linebacker. Alright, so let's change Dennis Pitta outlet route. I changed it to a slant right, but I'm going to change it again, put it to a curl. Bolden in motion. A defender follows, and now I'll just have to make a run for it. Alright. Let's send, yeah, we can. Let's put Ray Rice over there. Let's move him back. You can see someone moved with him, so I can try to get creative with the play calling. So I'll put Lee Evans on a fade route. And of course, as you see, I had to get it out quickly. Alright, 4 verticals. Now we gotta watch the defender. I'll send Lee Evans in motion. No one moving, except him. Let's watch. It's a zone, so... But of course, you gotta watch out for anyone else who could be out there. Since no one moved, that was pretty much a zone, and number 22, William Gay, right? Yeah. He undercut the route, and that resulted in an interception. Now, sadly, I couldn't do anything because I had to get out of the pocket. It's very important to read the defense. And if you don't read it, that can result. Alright, so I changed the play. Alright. Depending on your quarterback's capabilities, as in his accuracy, his throw power, and the receiver's speed, agility, acceleration, release, catching, and all that is very important. To keep that in mind. Alright, no one moving. Except right there you can see. It's a zone. So I can hit Lee Evans on that completion. Of course, I had to get it out quickly because defenders were coming. It was pretty much a zone blitz. So you can see Bolden slant route. That turns into a very faint flat route, out route literally. So I'll change it completely to a slant route. Evans is open. I get good completion. Alright, so same play, for me at least. I'll send Lee Evans in motion. Now you can also trick the play action by changing the route what the player using play action with, in this case, Ray Rice. So, you get that. Also, watch for the linebackers, because if they're dropping in coverage, they can get that play out. They can bat the ball down. It's a blitz. I lob it to Ray Rice. It's important to not only what the heck was that? Did he catch that? Guys, tell me that right now. Did he, Torrey Smith, just catch that? Someone tell me right now. Because if he did, I... be just ecstatic. Tell me that. Please come. I want to know if you caught that. Oh my gosh. Alright, let's focus back. Okay, so I changed Bolden's flat or drag route to his left, and I changed it to a slant right. Like I said, read the defense, but you got to play smart. Don't just force it in there like you saw me doing it. Alright, I'm going to send Torrey Smith in motion. Slight movement, but that gives me, yep, man coverage. Yeah. I'm not that amazing. Alright, I'll send Bolden in motion. I saw slight movement, but I get a slight hint that Bolden could be covered with man coverage. Vontae Leach is open. You get what you take. And sometimes you just got to get what you're given. You have multiple options, but the longer you stay in there, the quicker. But if you just stay in there too long, once you see someone open, you have to quickly read who's open and all that, including the coverage, because in a near instant, the defenders could yeah, the defenders could read the holes and get there, especially if you're playing against a smart defense like the Steelers. A very smart defense. And yet, note, I'm a Ravens fan. Of course I don't like Steelers, but hey, you gotta have respect for what they do, right? Alright, send Torrey Smith in motion. Looks like man coverage. I know you're thinking what I'm doing is nuts, but let's just see how it goes. Like I said, it has to do with the factors include the quarterback. So plays could have different results depending on the player's capabilities. for running football, pretty much you really have to be very careful. Sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not. Oh, poor Ray Rice. Plus, when you have a player who's going to, curl around like what Ray Rice did earlier, you can't wait to the last moment, because when he turns around, the ball's already past him. Even players with great awareness can miss it. Now that's a great idea if you want to get more blocks on the outside. You won't get loads of yards, but you will get a good amount. Now there's some good blocks, and Ray Rice taking it in. Very, very important to read defenses, and if needed, change the plays. Or send guys in motion. Right there I bring Bolden closer. I get some yards, even though it was not yards after the catch. There weren't any yards after the catch. I still got a good amount of yards from the completion itself. Like I said, running. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes if you're doing that, what I did, you can lob it or bullet pass. Bullet pass pretty much has a higher chance of being incomplete when a defender comes around for it. But for a lob pass, be very careful with those. It may increase your chances of possibly completing it, getting it over the defender, but chances are it could end up being intercepted. As you can see, I almost completely didn't do, almost completely, I almost completely I almost completely forgot about why I was doing this, but I think you guys are getting enough of what I'm trying to tell you. I hope. Sometimes if you want to go deep, it's not there. It's always good enough to just go for the easy completion. But usually, it takes timing. See, you gotta be careful, and if you guys can barely hear much anything, I apologize for that. No one moving. Let's see if I could do something with Lee Evans here. And I can, even though it was a tight window. As the pass was getting in there. So, what if you have two guys open? Well, what if you have two guys open? I would say, unless there's space on the outside, unless there's space for the deeper receiver, go for the short, easy completion. Usually when you take a risk, it doesn't go right. And also, sending guys in motion can stretch the defense, whether they're in man coverage or not, because the defenders could also take some time to get to the opponent receiver. That one intercepted. Yeah, I'm not that much of a good player. Well, sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not. When you do plays like that on the stretch, try to get out as far as possible, so that if available, any blockers that aren't blocking anyone can get to, you know. But usually, if they don't get there quick enough, that can happen. See, you saw a bunch of players unblocked. Alright, let's call an audible. Let's change Ed Dixon's route to a streak. And shorten it with the smart route. Let's send Ray Rice in motion. I'll just let it go full streak, and I'll, of course, someone with him, so it's man. Usually, sometimes it just doesn't work out. Alright, let's send Pitta in motion. Big gain. Let's call an audible to the offensive line to a block to the left. Play action. Let's send Dennis Pitta out. No one's moving. He stepped out of bounds, incomplete. Sometimes you may be lucky enough to get a completion when it looks like you might not. But nothing always happens not everything happens twice. So you gotta have great pocket awareness. Try to get out at the right timing. Were you guys aware that I did a juke move right at Palomalu? And I mean right at him. Of course, if you want to make a throw on the run, you gotta be aware if you're at the line of scrimmage or not. Now, if you can't find an open spot, keep running out as far as possible. Even try to do a spin move or some other kind of move to get the defender off balance and try to cut back. It just takes time. Don't ask me why running the football is such a nuisance to me. I'm just having a hard time. Yeah, send guys in motion, change the routes, read defense, and hey, you could end up having a big play. Either for you, or you could give the defense momentum, or at least the opposing team. Torrey Smith running all the way over there, man coverage. I'll send him on the streak. Lee Evans versus Palomalu. In a way, Evans wins the battle. Ha! Pulling away. I got that Dixon open. Alright, let's change Dixon's route. And when you don't have time, you got to hurry and make the read. You can either throw it away or try to fit it in to get it to the receiver. But that's a huge risk. Unless you really know what you're doing, do it with caution. And yes, I am aware it's about 30 minutes now. But that's why I'm able to upload videos that are at least 30 minutes, that are over 15 minutes, thankfully. Other thing is, it will really hurt to see your quarterback getting crushed like that, and it's not pretty. It's not pretty at all. Outside runs. Try to get as many blockers as you can possible. And get as many blockers as you can. And sometimes if you're lucky, you could end up having a big gain. Yeah, you gotta watch out for those big hits. fitting in throws is a risk. But if you have a big, strong arm guy, if your quarterback is very hard, can throw the ball very hard, you could be lucky enough to fit it in tight windows. Like Joe Flacco. He's not the most accurate, but he can really throw hard. Tight window. Of course, credit to the receiver for, getting it in. Now, of course, you've seen the video saying that when doing a curl route, it's important to throw it before the receiver turned around. But what if he's not open? It's usually a decision maker right up to the point where you have to throw it. Send Pitta in motion. I like doing this with outside runs. Hole and fumble. Okay, let's send Pitta in motion again, and it's 30 minutes. It's been going on for 32 minutes, so I apologize for making this such a long video, but yeah. Spin move and Dixon pushes away from the defender. Voila. Ouch. Call an audible. I'm gonna put Torrey Smith out there. Oh, Rice! Off his fingertips. Sometimes you're just not lucky when it comes to trying to run the football. Sometimes waiting too long can result in an incomplete pass. If you see a read, try to get it in there as soon as possible. If you have the time in, depending on space, you have to get in there. Unless you have time. It's just very important to read defenses, and adjusting plays can be a huge help as well. Because sometimes if you're lucky, that can happen. So usually if you want to test your skills, either in all pro or all Madden difficulty, play against a very good defense like the Steelers or the Packers, but depending on which team you plan on playing as. Because you don't want to make it too hard for yourself. Just do it the best you can. Just, jeez, I was lucky there. To the outside, I'll try to spin. And I tried to spin there, but couldn't get around them. Alright, one more, couple more plays. And it will be time to cut the video off, since you know how long I've been doing, shooting this video, so. Oh yes! Run, Bowden! Touchdown! Ha! Alright, catch you guys later. Bye. Oops. Hold on.